"Sir, this is a photo of my father in your wallet." The waitress's voice trembled as she held up the small, creased picture she had just spotted when the billionaire opened his wallet to pay for dinner. The billionaire froze. His face drained of color. The bustling restaurant seemed to go silent, and for a moment, time itself stood still. If this story moves your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more powerful true-to-life stories that will change the way you look at the world. The billionaire's name was Richard Morgan, one of the wealthiest men in the country. Known for his ruthless business tactics, he had built an empire on steel, shipping, and finance. He was feared, admired, envied. But he was also a man with ghosts buried deep in his past. No one dared to question him, until this fragile, wide-eyed waitress did. The young woman, barely 22, was named Emily. She worked double shifts at the diner to support her ailing mother and her younger brother. Despite her hardships, she carried herself with quiet dignity. But when she saw that familiar face in the billionaire's wallet, her composure cracked. That's my father," she whispered again, holding the photo closer. "Where did you get this?" Richard tried to compose himself. He snatched the wallet back, but his hands shook. His lips parted, but no words came out. Finally, after a long pause, he asked in a broken voice, What did you say your father's name was?" "Daniel Harris," Emily said, her voice firm, though her eyes shimmered with tears. "He disappeared when I was just a child. We never knew what happened to him. And now, I see his photo in your wallet?" Richard's heart pounded in his chest. Daniel Harris. That name was carved into his memory like stone. Years ago, when Richard was still a struggling young man, it was Daniel Harris, a kind, humble mechanic, who had saved his life. Flashback years earlier, Richard, then in his 20s, had been living on the streets after his father's business collapsed. Hungry, cold, and hopeless, he had wandered into a small garage where Daniel worked. Instead of turning him away, Daniel had taken him in, fed him, given him a place to sleep for a few nights, and even slipped a few dollars into his pocket. "You're not alone," Daniel had told him. "One day, when you're strong again, remember to help someone else." That kindness had lit a fire inside Richard. He vowed to rebuild his life, and he did, beyond his wildest dreams. But Daniel vanished from his life, and Richard never found him again. All he had kept was the photo Daniel once showed him of his newborn daughter, Emily. That same photo had lived in Richard's wallet for decades, a silent reminder of the man who saved him. Now, staring at Emily, Richard realized the truth. This young woman was Daniel's daughter. Richard's voice cracked as he said, "Emily, your father was the man who saved me. He gave me hope when I had nothing. That photo. I've carried it with me all these years. He was my hero." Emily's breath caught. Tears slid down her cheeks. "Then where is he? Do you know? We've been searching for him for years." Richard lowered his head, guilt washing over him. I don't know. But if he's out there, I swear, I'll help you find him. I owe him my life." From that moment, a bond was formed. Richard began to visit the diner every day, learning about Emily's struggles. Her mother was battling a chronic illness, her brother was falling behind in school, and Emily herself had given up her dreams of college to work full-time. Richard, moved by her resilience, began to quietly help. He paid for her mother's treatments, arranged tutoring for her brother, and eventually offered Emily a scholarship in her father's name. But the story didn't end there. Richard also launched a search for Daniel Harris. He hired investigators, combed through records, and reached out to old contacts. Months passed with no word. Just when hope seemed lost, they found him, in a small rural town, living in poverty after years of misfortune. His body was weak, but his spirit was unbroken. The reunion was heart-stopping. Emily ran into her father's arms, sobbing, "I never stopped looking for you. Daniel, frail but smiling, held her tight. Richard stood nearby, tears in his eyes, finally able to repay the man who had given him everything. From then on, Richard made Daniel's family his own. He provided them with a home, security, and love. But more importantly, he found something he had lost long ago, a family to belong to. At the grand opening of a new community center he built in Daniel's honor, Richard stood on stage and spoke words that silenced the crowd. Wealth means nothing if it isn't used to heal, to lift others, to honor those who gave us a chance. Daniel Harris gave me hope when I was broken. And today, his kindness continues through his daughter, Emily. Let this be a reminder, we are never truly alone. What we give comes back, in ways we never imagine. The audience rose in a standing ovation. Emily and Daniel stood beside him, their eyes shining with pride. And so, the billionaire who once lived for power found redemption through gratitude, family, and love. If this story touched your heart, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Because stories like these remind us that one act of kindness can change the course of someone's life, and maybe even the world.